Are you ready for a supernatural showdown of epic proportions? Get ready, because the next generation of Ghostbusters is about to hit the big screen, and it's bound to change everything you know about ghost busting. In 2021, Ghostbusters Afterlife was a super duper hit, bringing back the beloved ghost hunting franchise from the 80s for a whole new gang of fans. The movie had some fresh faces like Mckenna Grace from The Handmaid's Tale and Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. And guess what? The OG Ghostbusters crew, including the legendary Bill Murray, made a comeback that had fans jumping with joy.
Okay, power up!
This flick raked in a cool $200 million all around the world, and here's the scoop. It told the tale of a single mom and her two kids who decided to call a seemingly ordinary town in Oklahoma home sweet home. But, surprise surprise, weird stuff started happening. Before you know it, they stumble upon their family connection to the original Ghostbusters and have to pick up the ghost-catching torch. Spooky. From the talented director Jason Reitman and producer Ivan Reitman, we're getting ready for the next exciting chapter in the original Ghostbusters world. Ghostbusters Afterlife is the name of the game. Picture this: a single mom and her two kiddos roll into a quaint little town and bam! They start uncovering their link to the OG Ghostbusters and the awesome legacy left by their grandpa. Gil Kenan and Jason Reitman penned this cinematic adventure. Now let's rewind a bit. Since the very first Ghostbusters flick back in 1984, you know, the one with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, this franchise has blown up big time. It's made a ton of cash, and there's a whole world of Ghostbusters toys, comics, video games, and gear for fans to enjoy. And guess what? We're getting an untitled sequel, codenamed Firehouse, where the new proton pack wielding crew is back in action, taking on supernatural baddies to keep the world safe from all things spooky, ghosts, specters, and even marshmallow ghouls. So here's everything we know about the Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 so far. The Ghostbusters Afterlife crew was a fantastic mix of fresh talent and familiar faces. We had some new kids on the block like Paul Rudd, who rocked the role of Gary Gruberson, and Carrie Coon, who totally nailed it as Callie Spengler. And let's not forget Finn Wolfhard, taking on the character of Travis Spengler, and Mckenna Grace as Phoebe Spengler. But what made this movie extra special was the OG Ghostbusters gang making a grand return. Bill Murray was back in action, cracking jokes as the charming Peter Venkman. Dan Aykroyd reprised his role as the science-loving Raymond Ray Stantz. Ernie Hudson was back as the wise Winston Zeddemore, and Sigourney Weaver returned as the ever-mysterious Dana Barrett. Oh, and Annie Potts brought her unique charm back as Jenny Melnitz to complete the nostalgic reunion. With this A-listed ensemble, Ghostbusters Afterlife gave a loving nod to the classic, while infusing it with fresh vibes, making it an absolute blast for both old-school fans and newcomers alike. But wait, there's more. According to Deadline, we've got some new folks joining the Ghostbusters crew, including Kumail Nanjiani, Patton Oswalt, and the witty UK comedian James Acaster. The return of the 80s Ghostbusting squad is still up in the air, although Dan Aykroyd has been pretty vocal about wanting to jump back in. In a chat with USA Today, Aykroyd spilled the beans on his idea. He's up for having his character, Ray, and Bill Murray's Peter meet their ghostly fate in the next film, with their spirits guiding the new generation of Ghostbusters. I'd like to kick the bucket. I think Bill and I should shuffle off in the next one, Aykroyd quipped. Or maybe we hang around a bit. Why not let the living Ghostbusters, Ernie, Billy, and me, stick around for numbers 4, 5, and 6, keep going until we're gone? Then we can have all the tributes and stuff. He continued, death is gonna catch up with us eventually. Ernie Hudson, in a chat with Yahoo back in 2021, hinted at the possibility of a new installment. However, he's not quite sure if Winston, his character, will be a part of the action. He also wondered about Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd's involvement, given that it's a new generation's movie. Nevertheless, he's open to the idea of the old Ghostbusters stepping in as mentors in some way, which sounds like a lot of fun. The sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife is being directed by Jason Reitman, who also co-wrote the script alongside Gil Kenan. After the success of Ghostbusters Afterlife, Jason Reitman and Gil Kenan signed a producing deal with Sony Pictures and started working on this new supernatural script for the sequel. This collaboration is highly anticipated, and Jason Reitman is recognized as a visionary filmmaker and storyteller. According to Sanford Panett, the president of Sony Pictures Motion Picture Group, Jason and Gil bring a remarkable understanding of commercial cinema quality to their products, making them an exciting team to watch the upcoming pipeline of films. A significant change for the 2023 Ghostbusters sequel is that Jason Reitman, after passing of his father, Ivan, will not be directing it. Instead, he'll be co-writing the film. The new director taking the reins is his creative partner, Gil Kenan. In Jason's own words, "A few years ago, my father handed me the keys to Ecto-1, and together we made Ghostbusters Afterlife. Words will never express how grateful I am to have made a film with my father by my side. It's now time to hand those keys to my creative partner and fellow Ghostbuster, Gil Kenan, a brilliant director who will keep the Spengler spirit alive. I can only hope to provide him with the same producer care and support that my father showed me." Gil Kenan also expressed his excitement, saying, "It's an absolute honor to pick up the Proton Pack and step behind the camera for the next chapter of the Spengler family saga. I just wish I could go back to 1984 and tell the kid in the 6th row of Man Valley West that one day he was going to get to direct a Ghostbusters film." The plot of the Ghostbusters sequel following Ghostbusters Afterlife has not been officially confirmed, and details are still under wraps. However, there are some intriguing hints from the post-credit scenes of Ghostbusters Afterlife. In the post-credit scene, Winston Zeddemore, played by Ernie Hudson, is seen driving the Ecto-1 back to its original ghostbusting home in New York City. The Ecto-1 pulls into a firehouse, and a red light starts flashing in the containment unit, suggesting that something paranormal is afoot. This scene raises questions about whether the gang will be returning to the Big Apple and setting up shop in the iconic converted firehouse, which served as a headquarters in the original Ghostbusters films. The plot of the upcoming Ghostbusters sequel remains a well-guarded secret, and even cast members like Mckenna Grace are in the dark about the details. Grace admitted that she's constantly bugging the director Jason Reitman, trying to uncover what the story will be. She emphasized her excitement for the sequel and her role as Phoebe, but confessed to having no clue about the storyline, comparing it to being in the dark about a Marvel film. Meanwhile, Jason Reitman, the co-writer and director, has been dropping hints and teasing fans with potential storylines and nostalgic elements. One tantalizing possibility he's mentioned is the return of the creepy supernatural four, Vigo, the Carpathian, whom we first encountered in the 1989 sequel Ghostbusters II. Reitman has suggested that there's ample time and opportunity for Vigo to make a comeback, adding an extra layer to the sequel's potential plot. The upcoming Ghostbusters sequel, which is currently untitled, is scheduled for release on March 29, 2014. This release date coincides with Easter weekend. Originally, the film was planned for Christmas 2023 release, but it had to be delayed due to the ongoing writer and actor strikes. Ghostbusters fans will have to wait a bit longer, but it looks like the wait will be worth it. Well, that's it. What are your expectations for the upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel? Are you excited to see the new generation of Ghostbusters take on the supernatural once again? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more exciting updates from the world of cinema. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.